Hello, friends. Happy Monday. I hope you had a much better Monday than I did. Unfortunately, work was a little bit crazy today, and I'm happy to be home and I'm glad it's over, but gotta return to it tomorrow. I did not have time to do this yesterday, but I wanted to do it today. And I wanted to talk about the fact that I am officially a Sunday school teacher. Now, I know that I had posted a couple of weeks ago that I was going to be officially onboarded. And that's really kind of the only announcement I really made about it. But I actually had my very first lesson yesterday, and I just kind of wanted to recap about how awesome it was and how successful it was. So, if you didn't know, I have been volunteering in the Sunday school room for almost a year now. I want to say probably a good 9 months or so. I have been volunteering, and I was working with another Sunday school teacher who just recently did his last class on March, and he decided to move on to other projects and other involvement in the church, which is totally fine. People do that all the time. So that had an opening for me to move up into the Sunday school teacher position. Now, I had originally talked to our children's ministry director, and she had asked me if I was interested in pursuing the Sunday school teacher role. And at the time, I was like, well, I'm just comfortable for now, just volunteering, being the helper, because essentially we have two people in every Sunday school room. So one is the teacher and one is the assistant, basically. So if you have students that need to go to the washroom or handing out snacks or activities or things like that, it's always helpful to have two sets of hands in a classroom, especially when you're working with the younger kids. I'm currently volunteering in the grades 1 to 4 room. So they're a really, really great group of kids. They're just a little bit older, so they're not like the toddlers and the babies and things like that. So they're really just kind of starting out learning the Bible and things like that. And they're not quite as old as the older group of kids, which is the grades. It really kind of goes by age. So we have like a group of 5s and 6s, like the grades, and then we have teen church as well. So because I've been volunteering in the 1 to 4 room, that's the room I was comfortable with because I know the kids know me, so it was an easier transition to go into teaching. And it was really, really amazing. Now, our church has a particular curriculum that they work from. There's kind of a national, I can't remember what the actual program is called, but it's it aligns with our church and what our church believes and what our church teaches. So we go off of that curriculum. So when you go into the classroom, it's not like you have to sit down and come up with the lessons yourself. You have an entire lesson plan that's already kind of set everything out for you. You have like a big picture question. So for example, this week's big picture question was, did Jesus ever sin? And then we talked about the story of John 2, chapter 2, verse 13, which is the story of Jesus cleansing the temple. And it's the famous flipping the table story, which I really, really love. So we got to talk about that while we were in the classroom. And I had this really great activity where I printed off these papers it was just a blank head. So each student got to create themselves on this piece of paper, draw a picture of themselves, and then we put that into a blank sleeve cover, and then they were all given dry erase markers and were to make themselves as dirty as possible. So I gave examples like, say for example, you ate chocolate and you had chocolate all over your face, or you've been rolling around in the mud and the grass and the leaves, and just kind of giving examples of how to make themselves messy. And then once they completed that, then we took a paper towel and we washed it all off, wiped it all off. And it was just kind of a way to demonstrate how accepting Jesus, you become cleansed, right? Jesus absolves you of your sin when you believe him as your Lord and Savior. So it was really, really a great exercise. It was received really well. The kids had a fun time. And then, afterwards we read the Bible passage. We played some games. We had snack. And we've just recently started having one of our other church members who's not officially on the worship team in the regular service, but coming into the classrooms to sing music and do a small worship session with the kids before we started to the lesson. So that was really awesome. It went really, really well. I was super, super nervous working with the kids still, even though I know most of these kids already and they know who I am. It was still a little nerve-wracking being the one that's in charge of the classroom versus just being the helper and having someone else lead. So, but I am really, really enjoying being involved in children's ministry at our church, and I will continue to do so. Right now we have a schedule set up where each teacher teaches a class once a month. So we all kind of take turns and rotate through the schedule. So, I haven't gotten next month's lesson yet, so I will definitely sit down and maybe talk about that when it comes up and talk about the ideas that I have. But I'm really excited about working with the kids, and I had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to working more at this church. These people, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if I have the right words to describe what it feels like being involved with such godly people who are so kind and so friendly. And I have made so many friends, and I just enjoy my time at this church, and it is really, really rewarding. And it is very eye-opening to see God work in the many ways through the people of this church, and seeing the different ways that people are called to serve. Because not everybody is cut out to work in Sunday school, or to work with the other areas that are available to volunteer in. So it is very diverse. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of support, and there's a lot of really, really great families that I enjoy working with. So so thank you very much for watching. I just thought I'd share my experience and talk about my excitement about how well that it went, because I'm really looking forward to working some more in the summer with the kids and being involved in more activities and things like that. So, if those kinds of updates are something that interests you, please like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.